I wanted you to hear this because one sentence can change the direction of a life. Most people spend years waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect version of themselves. But what if that moment never comes? What if the only thing standing between the life you dream about and the life you're living is the decision you make today? Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share isn't just motivation, it's a different way of thinking. A mindset that can transform fear into action, doubt into confidence, and ordinary dreams into extraordinary reality. This message is for anyone who has ever felt stuck, underestimated, or uncertain. I wanted you to hear this because it might be exactly what you need today. There is something I wanted you to hear today because too many people spend their entire lives waiting. They wait for confidence before taking the first step. They wait for the perfect opportunity before chasing a dream. They wait for someone else to believe in them before they believe in themselves. The truth is that waiting often feels safe, but it quietly steals years from your life. Every day you postpone a meaningful decision is another day your future remains exactly where it is. The world does not stop moving while you hesitate. Every innovation, every breakthrough, every remarkable achievement started with someone who decided to act before they had all the answers. Progress has never belonged to the people who felt completely ready. It has always belonged to the people who accepted uncertainty and moved forward anyway. You may think you need permission to dream bigger. Perhaps you are waiting for your family to approve, your friends to understand, or society to tell you that your ambition makes sense. But permission is one of the greatest illusions ever created. Nobody is going to arrive one morning, knock on your door, and announce that today is finally the day you are allowed to become the person you were meant to be. That decision has always belonged to you. Imagine looking back 10 years from now. You will not regret every mistake you made while trying. You will remember the opportunities you ignored because fear convinced you that tomorrow would be better. Tomorrow has an interesting habit of becoming another tomorrow. Before you realize it, months become years, and years become a lifetime of wondering what could have happened if you had simply begun. The first step is rarely comfortable. It is supposed to challenge you. Growth has never been designed to feel familiar. Every meaningful journey begins with uncertainty, because certainty only appears after experience. You cannot learn to build by only studying blueprints. At some point, you must pick up the tools and start creating. Many people underestimate what consistent effort can accomplish. They believe success arrives through one dramatic moment. In reality, extraordinary results are usually hidden inside ordinary days. A single hour spent learning. One difficult conversation. One problem solved. One decision to continue when quitting feels easier. Small actions repeated over months become a completely different life. There will always be reasons to delay. You might feel too young or too old. You might believe you lack resources, connections, or experience. Yet history repeatedly proves that limitations often become the birthplace of creativity. When resources are limited, your thinking becomes sharper. When the path is unclear, your ability to adapt becomes stronger. Obstacles are not always signs to stop. Sometimes they are invitations to think differently. Your future does not require perfection. It requires commitment. Perfection creates procrastination because it convinces you that every detail must be flawless before you begin. Commitment accepts that improvement happens through repetition. The first version will never be the best version, but it must exist before the second version can become better. There is incredible power in deciding that today matters. Not next week, not next year, today. Every great mission, every remarkable company, every meaningful relationship, every personal transformation eventually comes down to a series of ordinary days where someone chose discipline instead of excuses. The person you admire most was once unknown. They also faced uncertainty. They questioned themselves. They encountered failure. What separated them from everyone else was not the absence of fear, but the willingness to continue despite it. You do not need permission to learn. You do not need permission to improve. You do not need permission to build something meaningful. The only approval that truly determines your direction is the one you give yourself when you decide your dreams deserve action instead of delay. Your future is not created by one extraordinary day. It is created by thousands of ordinary moments that most people never notice. Every choice you make when no one is watching, becomes a vote for the person you are becoming. That is why your future is built by the choices you make when no one is watching. Think about the quiet moments of your life. The moments when there is no audience, no applause, no reward waiting at the end of the day. Those moments reveal your true direction more than any public achievement ever could. Anyone can appear motivated when people are paying attention. Real growth begins when your actions are guided by purpose instead of recognition. Many people believe success is a destination. They imagine reaching one goal and suddenly feeling complete, but every meaningful accomplishment simply opens the door to another challenge. Growth has no finish line because every answer creates a new question. Every mountain climbed reveals another peak beyond the horizon. That is why your mindset matters more than temporary results. If your motivation depends only on immediate rewards, you will eventually stop moving when progress becomes slow. But if your motivation comes from becoming a better thinker, a stronger creator, and a more disciplined human being, then every challenge becomes valuable. The world is changing faster than ever before. Technology evolves, industries transform, entire careers appear that did not exist a decade ago. The people who thrive are not necessarily the smartest. They are the ones who continue learning long after everyone else becomes comfortable. Learning is not something you finish. It becomes part of your identity. Curiosity is one of the greatest competitive advantages anyone can develop. The moment you believe you already know enough is the moment your growth begins to slow down. Stay curious. Ask difficult questions. Challenge your own assumptions. Be willing to replace outdated beliefs with better ideas. Failure is often misunderstood. People see failure as evidence that they should quit. In reality, failure is information. Every unsuccessful attempt teaches you something that success could never reveal. Every mistake contains data. Every setback carries feedback. The only true failure is refusing to learn from experience. Imagine building something important. Rarely does the first version work exactly as planned. You improve it, test it again, discover another weakness, improve it once more, and continue repeating that cycle until excellence begins to appear. Your own life works the same way. You are not supposed to become your best version overnight. You are supposed to keep improving through constant refinement. Protect your attention because it is your most valuable resource. The world competes for your focus every minute of every day. Endless distractions can consume years without leaving anything meaningful behind. The ability to focus deeply has become increasingly rare, and because it is rare, it has become incredibly valuable. Every hour you invest in learning, creating, building, or solving meaningful problems becomes an investment in a future version of yourself that does not exist yet. You may not see immediate results, but progress is often invisible before it becomes obvious. A seed spends a long time growing beneath the surface before anyone sees the first sign of life. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is disciplined action repeated over time without demanding instant rewards. It is trusting that consistent effort will eventually produce extraordinary outcomes. Most people quit because they expect visible success too early. They mistake silence for failure when, in reality, progress is quietly taking shape. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth instead of comfort. The conversations you have every day shape the standards you accept. If everyone around you believes average is enough, average begins to feel normal. But when you spend time with people who dream bigger, solve harder problems, and constantly improve themselves, your own expectations begin to rise. Never underestimate the power of integrity. Keep your promises, especially the ones you make to yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen trust in your own character. Confidence is built this way, not by positive words alone, but by repeatedly proving to yourself that your actions match your intentions. One day people may notice your progress. They may call it talent, luck, or perfect timing. They will not see the quiet mornings, the difficult decisions, the repeated failures, the lonely hours of learning, or the countless moments when you chose discipline instead of comfort. Those invisible choices become the visible life everyone else admires. So if there is one thing I wanted you to hear today, it is this. Your future is already being written, not by chance, not by luck, not by someone else's opinion. It is being written by every decision you make when no one is watching, every problem you choose to solve, every excuse you refuse to accept. and every day you decide to move one step closer to the person you are capable of becoming,